Hey y'all, Daniel Aaron here, your guide to vibrant living, and a question for you. How can you help somebody else to overcome an addiction? Another question. This phrasing comes from the Landmark Forum, which is something I recommend, appreciate, has its perks, has its downsides. And the question is, what's the difference between being on the court versus in the stands? When you're on the court or when you're in the stands, how does that change your life? A little bit of a, sports analogy for you there. Hope you can roll with that. Now, something came to me, a powerful insight just the other day. One that I've gotten before, and it clicked on another level. And it really is about being on the court. It's about how we actually can help somebody else to overcome an addiction and how we can't, whether it's as a coach or as a parent or as a friend. Some time ago in India, there was a woman, very devoted mother, had a big family. One of her children had a rare disease, so that if he ate, this is a small boy, if he ate too much sugar, it could actually, it was, I don't know technically what it was, beyond diabetes, like it was getting seriously dangerous, and that kid had a major sweet tooth. Me too, right? Major sweet tooth, and he just couldn't stop himself from eating sugar, and if he wasn't at home, she would try and prohibit it, he would find ways to get it. So she was at her wit's end, like what to do with this. And so what she did is actually traveled all the way across India to meet up with Gandhi. Now, and at this point, he was, occasionally seeing people, and if somebody made the effort, he would see them. And now this woman had to travel 3 days by train to get there with this kid, and she barely had any money, right? So, this is a big deal. She gets all the way there with him, and she gets to see Gandhi, and he says to her, she says to him, look, I've got this problem. My boy can't stop eating sugar. Everything I say, nothing makes a difference, but he loves you. He respects you. If you could help, if you just say something to him, that would be great. So he thinks about it for a minute, and he says, come back in a month. And the woman says, but I traveled 3 days. It's going to take me 3 days to get home. I don't have the money to come back again. And he says, I'm sorry, come back in a month. So what to do? She loves her son. She'll, do anything for him. So sure enough, a month later, she comes back. The whole thing again, 3 days of train to get there. She gets there with him. And Gandhi had said specifically, bring your son when you come back. And so they're sitting there with Gandhi, and he simply looks directly at the son, and he says, stop eating sugar. That was it. And the little boy took it on. And so, afterwards, there was a moment, the woman said to him, I really appreciate that, and why didn't you just do that a month ago? Gandhi said, well, I had to stop eating sugar first, right? Yes. You know what I mean? And that's the thing for us as parents. If we tell our children, it's always important to say thank you, and then we're not saying thank you, right? What do they learn? How do they learn? More from our words or from our behavior, right? And part of what the lesson is from Landmark Forum's expression about being on the court versus in the stands is when we're up in the stands, we're looking down there at the game and the players, and it's really easy to criticize or judge. And yet when we are on the court, that means we're active in our life. We're not complaining, we're responsible, we're creating our life, right? It's a whole nother way of engaging. And to me, this is one of the best things about being a coach and a teacher, is it keeps me in the game all the time. If I'm going to stand here and offer you something with my clients, when I offer them suggestions or help with things, I have to be living it myself. And I don't mean perfectly. None of us live anything perfectly. What it means, though, is I'm committed to growing, to looking at myself, as I am sure that you are too, because you're listening and you're dedicated to a vibrant life. And that, my friend, is awesome, and I am much appreciative for it. So, with that, let's stay on the court. See you later.